In this video about takt, steering, and control, I'm going to talk about creating stability. The key here is, for your trades to succeed, we must control the environment so that we can collaboratively work with our foremen and workers, the trades, to do their work within the takt production system. So I'm going to talk about that right now. So one of the first things that I want to talk about when I mention creating stability is that you must meet as a team. You must have meetings and huddles. I really recommend, if you have your days here, and let's say this is 6 a.m., 3 p.m., whatever, that you have an afternoon foreman huddle where you plan the day, and that the next day you have a 5 to 10 minute stand-up meeting where you communicate that plan to your workers. This is key. We're not talking about this in this specific video. We have other videos that in this channel that cover how to do the foreman huddle and how to do the worker huddle. But the bottom line is, stability comes from coordinating in these meetings. You have to make sure that you're having these meetings so that you can plan, and obviously in the afternoon get anything that you need, and then communicate, okay, and then execute, okay? This is the pattern. I would highly recommend that you don't put your foreman meetings that morning, because you can plan, but you won't be able to get anything because you're day of, right? And if you reroute, you will create variation within the crew, and you will communicate too late once they have set up, and you will have a hard time executing. So day before, afternoon foreman huddles, morning of worker huddles. This must happen in order for you to create stability on your project site with your takt production system. And in these meetings, one thing that I would highly encourage you to do, I strenuously recommend this. Actually, there's two things. Number one, manage delays appropriately, okay? And number two, I want you to hold start dates. This is going to cause some friction here if you're not open-minded. All right, so let's check this out. Let's deal with delays first. If you have a zone 1, and then zone 2, right? If there is an impact or a delay here, we have been taught in our career to just go ahead and delay that and stack. Actually, that's not called stacking, that's called trade burdening. Burden that trade partner. And here, let me just go ahead and be a little bit more clear with my explanation. Let's say that this trade was, let's say overhead mechanical, okay? And I've marked that with blue. There's a delay here, like, oops, I need my red marker here. There's a delay, okay, which I've already marked. Hey, let's just go ahead and push them back. Not a problem, fork them. They can deal with it, not a big deal. That's actually not true, because when you go ahead and burden a trade partner, what's going to happen is they, because they're good people, are going to attempt to do this, and then you'll have the bungee effect, and this will spring out quite a bit. What you should have done was, and let me just go ahead and mark with green the delay. Instead of attempting to burden them, if you had a delay and this was what it delayed to, you should allow the second zone to delay so that you have a beautiful incline and they work in a stable manner from zone to zone to zone, and you would simply eat into buffers at the end, okay? So you can either, and actually let me go ahead and do this, you can either, if you attempt to burden a trade, have a whole lot of delay, or you can keep them stable and only have a little bit or an accurate and precise amount of delay. So one of the first things that I recommend is absorb delays intelligently. Do not rush and push and panic. The other concept is holding start dates. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say that a trade partner, and actually, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do this. Let's say a trade partner here, and I'll use this blue as an example, that they have in zone number 1 an activity, and then they're going to move over here into zone 2, right? But, oh, real quick, and there they have a beautiful little tie here they're crew tied, it's beautiful, they're happy, they're in flow, they're getting better. But you notice as a superintendent that the wagon before this trade finished a little bit early, right? So you, knowing that we want to get as much out of everybody as we possibly can, and we've learned from the industry that we should rush and push and panic, you're probably like, hey homie, why not move your activity forward by, let's say, 1 or 2 or 3 days, whatever. Don't do that. Because when you take this trade out of a rhythm, that is going to ripple variation throughout all of your planning, your successor trades, the trade partner themselves, and you're going to experience this bungee effect again where actually things start to take longer. Because what people don't understand is as you increase utilization beyond a trade partner's capacity, their cycle times increase. You cannot, it's not a 1-for-1. You can't be like, oh, go do work, one person, oh great. I'm going to add 2, I'll get double. I'll add 3, I'll get triple. I'll get 4, I'll get quadruple. That's not how it works. If you have one person doing a normal task, great. Add 2, now you're going to get probably 1.8 times the amount of work. Add a third person, now you're going to get 2.3 times the amount of work. Add a fourth person, now you're going to get 3 times the work. Your actual accomplishments will narrow as you increase the amount of people, the amount of busyness, the amount of utilization. So you should not rush and push and panic people. You should allow them to, and this is what I'm going to call it, hold their start dates once they're on a Takt rhythm. So manage delays appropriately, okay, and hold your start dates. These are some of the keys for how you can create stability on your project site. And there's 2 more that are really important that I want to give you right now. Okay, number 1, make sure that you have a clean, and I'm going to write these out and make you watch me, safe and organized site, okay? You cannot do anything without this. And some people are like, Jay Money, like, oh my gosh, why is safety number 2? Safety is number 1. My favorite quote, so I once heard safety is not a priority, it's a value, and I love that. And then I heard safety isn't a priority or a value, safety is always. I've also heard safety is number 1. But the bottom line is we're always safe. Safety is always. But my point with this is you can't be safe unless you're clean. If it's not clean, right? Oh, like this is a perfect example, right? Look at how beautifully these are hung up. This is all beautifully clean. I can come in here and put this on, put on my hard hat, whatever I need to do, and see what I need to see, inspect this because it's clean, right? In this facility, it's beautifully clean. I can see, oh my gosh, is that safe? Is that fire extinguisher over there charged and inspected, right? I can do that. So it's always clean, safe, and organized. Also, this is the right environment for our workers. And that leads us to the second main concept that deals with people and stability is we must make sure that our team is balanced. That means that, and you all are going to hate me for this, is that you are not working too much overtime. I'd rather you not do any at all unless the workers need the extra money, but you're just going to get taxed more and spend it on useless things anyway. But don't work too much overtime. Don't overburden the trades or any of the individual people on there, and make sure that their team is organized so that they can be happy. What I mean by this is you have the right people, you have the right personalities, the right culture, and that you're building that team. They're not working too much. They have a reasonable expectation. They can come to their job and do good work day in and day out. And they're not overburdened, asked to do things that is beyond their capacity or beyond their training. This is key. So if you want to have a stable project, keep in mind everything that I've said in this video, but remember, and I could have started with this, that it's all about people It's not about saying, hey, let's do time studies and an analysis and rush and push and panic the individual. It's let's get the individual everything that they need so they can work at an even pace, and the process will yield more productivity. We want happy, I'll give you a heart here, happy people is the best way to be productive and to create stability on your project site. I really hope you're able to implement all this. Keep stable projects. Remember, Lean is about respect, stability, flow, total participation with visual systems, and then quality and continuous improvement. You can never improve anything until you're stable. On we go.